Hello folks, this is Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in chilly Dallas, Texas. Almost Christmas time. I love you all. Merry Christmas to all of you. I want to talk about pads. Scott, you've talked about pads before. You're killing us. I want to talk about why there are so many pads on the market. I got a bunch of pads on this makeshift table, which is actually a Jeep hood. I got pads by Griots. I got pads by Chemical Guys. I got pads by Buff and Shine. I got pads by Rupes. You name it, the list goes on and on. Lake Country. Well, why are there so many pads on the market to begin with? Well, since the creation of the long throw polisher made by Rupes, and a lot of companies have now made their own design, the Boss system by Griot, Surehold 3500, Torx 22 by Chemical Guys, the pads have become like a rat race. Who can make the best pad for these polishers? Well, why is pad so crucial with these long throw polishers? Well, here we go, folks. I want to talk about the 21 millimeter in general, or not in general. I want to kind of focus in on it for a minute. The 21 millimeter throw polisher may in fact not be, did I say that right? The 21 millimeter throw polisher may not be your best choice when it comes to removing clear coat and defects off the paint. Scott, what are you talking about? The 21 millimeter thing has been the greatest thing. It's the second coming. We love it. Holy crap, why are you saying it's not the greatest? Well, folks, we have to look at the paint. The paint, when we're cutting it, does not like to get hot. Well, it will get hot when we use a 21 millimeter throw polisher. Do you want to know why? Because now we've got a machine that's got a long throw to it, and it will generate heat on the surface of the paint. 21 millimeter throw machines may actually be generating too much heat. Trust me, give it another year or two, a lot of guys will come out of the closet and start talking about it. But let's talk about how Rupes wanted to kind of deal with some of the heat that would generate with these 21 millimeter throws or any of the long throw polishers. Here's a Rupes pad. This is their yellow pad, the only pad I like by them, and I only use them in one particular situation. I'll talk about that in the future. You notice the hole in the middle. Why is there a hole in the middle of this Rupes pad? Well, years ago, we used to have these flat pads, right? This is made by Griots. This is a flat pad. We would get sinkholes in them. A lot of heat generates in the middle of the pad. So Rupes wanted to get rid of that heat. Again, they're using a 21 millimeter throw. They also knew they were going to be generating more heat. So they wanted to get rid of the heat, so they've got a hole in the middle of it like a donut. Pretty cool. What that does indirectly is also keep the Velcro area of the backing plate cooler so it doesn't delaminate. But let's take a look at the fancy engineering by Rupes, right? This happens to be a 5-inch pad made for a 5-inch backing plate. Let me turn this around. I have a 5-inch backing plate on the back of this Rupes pad. If you notice, the 5-inch backing plate does not cover 100% of the Velcro backing on the pad, and this pad is actually made for a 5-inch backing plate. This is a poor engineering design by Rupes. What happens, because you've got a long throw, 15 or 21 millimeter, that's a lot of stress on the pad. This backing plate will start to dig, start to bite into that Velcro area and start to tear the pad. We start to see longer life with the pad. They don't really run as cool as they would like it. That little hole in the middle isn't really doing everything they thought it would do, but it helps. I won't beat them up too bad. But they're not an exact fit pad. 5-inch pad made for a 5-inch backing plate, and it doesn't even fit on the Velcro backing. Poor design. Now, if we look at, you also notice too, Rupes has a thick pad, right? That's kind of troublesome because the thicker the pad, less power from the machine is generated to the face of the pad. Also, the thicker pad tends to be a little grabby on the surface, and it can actually make this machine stall more than it already does. Who gives a crap? I guess nobody cares. I do, because I do this professionally. Here is a Griot pad, right? This is a low profile pad. This is also made for long throw polishers. They've got a hole in the middle of it, right? To get rid of some of that heat so the pad doesn't delaminate and maybe indirectly get rid of some of the heat that generates on the face of the pad and on the paint. If I take this 5-inch backing plate, this is a 5-inch pad by Griots, and if I put it on the backing plate, you'll notice that just about 100% of the backing plate covers up that Velcro backing. Better design, less biting and grabbing into the pad so it doesn't tear as often. And it's low profile, so more power from the machine can transfer to the face of the pad. Thanks, Griot. Really nice. I like it. Well, even with that said, all these pads that are on the market, they all tend to do the same thing, especially with 21 millimeter throw machines. the surface of the paint still gets too hot. Sometimes the pad still gets too hot. I want to show you a company, folks, that has made, in my opinion, the greatest pad on the planet, and it's the most simple design on the face of the planet, yet it's absolutely brilliant. Here is Americana Global Pad. This happens to be a 5-inch pad. They call these exact fit pads. This is 5 inches, and you notice those holes in it? There's not just one hole now. We've got 4 more holes in that 5-inch pad. If you also notice, your backing plate has tiny little holes in it as well. When you apply this pad to the surface of this pad to the surface of the backing plate, we turn the pad around, just about 99.9% of the backing plate is in fact covering the Velcro area, so less biting and grabbing like all those other pads on the counter, certainly like Rupes. And if I turn this pad over, can we see light going through there? Yeah. Not only are you going to get heat that dissipates and escapes through the middle of the pad, you'll also get it to dissipate and escape through these 4 little holes. What does this translate into? Watch this, folks. We already know, or I've explained to you, that heat is not your friend. You don't want heat generating on the paint. You want to try to keep it as cool as you can. What I have here is a 21 millimeter throw. Scott, you just said these things aren't the greatest, but now that I've got a pad that can release the heat from the paint and release the heat from the surface of the pad faster and better than any of those pads can, it equals out to, or it translates to so many different things. And I'll explain it to you. I've got the Last Cut Compound and Glaze by Jace Price. I'll put some on this pad and I'll just run it on the surface of this paint, and I'll explain to you what my experience is, what am I feeling, what am I knowing to be true, because I do this all the time. I've got 4 little pea-sized drops. They're even smaller than pea-size. Let me go in here and kind of spread out this product. Now I'm going to ramp up and actually start doing some cutting. I love it, Americana Global. You have made, so far, the best pad I've ever seen on the market. Because it's an exact fit to the 5-inch backing plate, because those holes are keeping the pad cooler and indirectly keeping the surface of the paint cooler, because now the abrasives within my compound are not rolling across the paint because the paint's gotten too hot with those other pads. I'm more effective, more efficient. I find myself not having to apply as much pressure, downward pressure with the machine. Why? Because the weight of the machine itself is now being evenly distributed on that exact fit pad. So 100% of the pad is going to work for me. If I do find myself needing to apply pressure to engage the compound, I can apply pressure. But again, now 100% of that pad is going to work for me. And when I apply pressure, heat is escaped through the pad because there's more holes in the pad. And I can actually get a better cut without my compound getting too hot, beginning to flash, beginning to dry up on me. The paint is not getting as hot. Now the fact that 21 millimeter throw is not really a huge issue now, because I found a pad that can make the temperature dissipate quicker than any other pad that I've come across. You'll also notice, because it's an exact fit pad, I can get right up along the edge of this contour and have much more control. Most of us do not like to polish paint right on that edge, right? Most of us are scared to do that because we're generating too much heat right on that edge. Now you don't have to hang over the edge, because if you had the Rupes pad, right, on your, let's say in this case, a 5-inch backing plate, and because it's not perfectly distributed over the back of the pad, I would actually have to hang over a little bit to try to get some defects off the edge of that paint. That's kind of a no-no by rule, right? And also, when I have to hang over the edge to do so, the machine can begin to stall. The other issue is because I'm hanging over an edge, that edge starts to spit out or cause dusting or cause my compound to sling off the pad, because now this edge becomes like a butter knife running across the pad. I have much more control On the edges, because I've got 100% of the pad going to work for me. It's an exact fit pad. The pad runs cooler. This pad will last 5 times longer than those pads because it stays cooler and it can handle the stress because it's an exact fit. Folks, this is an amazing pad. I get excited when I talk about it. You know, a lot of the pads on the market, there are some great ones. This one here, the design is so simple, so easy. The exact fit, the holes in the pad to keep it cooler, keep the paint cooler, keep your compound cooler, just make everything cooler and easier. What I also notice when I'm using the machine, because the pad is an exact fit, I get less vibration through the actual machine. The machine runs smoother. The other thing that's really important is, let's say you like the Rupes 21 and you like 6-inch backing plates. If you bought this 6-inch pad by Americana, that's an exact fit for a 6-inch backing plate on your Rupes, you'll find the machine will stall far less. Why? Because you've reined in the pad. You don't have a pad that's so big for the machine that causes stress and friction on the surface of the paint. Those machines like to stall a lot to begin with. The bigger pads can actually cause the machine to stall more, even on flat panels. Folks, it's happened to me. Don't tell me they don't stall on flat panels. They absolutely do. So that's the Americana Global Pad. What's really great about the Americana Global Pad is they're very easy to clean. I don't know why. I can flush the spent compound and clear coat out of this pad quicker than I can out of those. They just clean easier. When I'm done cleaning them and I want to set them out to dry, they will dry twice as fast as those pads. If you're one who likes to beat up your pads and use 1 or 2 pads for the whole car, this pad will last you longer. The cost of this pad is $10 versus some of those that might be around the same price or even higher, but they won't last as long. They won't keep the surface of the paint cool. They won't let the compound actually go to work for you because the surface of the paint will get too hot with those pads. Folks, Americana Global. Such a simple, easy design, but it's going to be a small company like Americana Global to think outside the box and make better pads for us. I love you all. I wanted to share that with you. Americana Global, $10 a pad. This is 5-inch. I think the 6-inch pads are the same price. They're a company up in Pennsylvania. Folks, I love it. Easier to clean, lasts 5 times longer than those pads. You can actually beat these up. Not that I do, but you can. They'll last longer. Better cut, cooler surfaces of the paint. Love you all. I hope that helps.